You know, the very fact that we're getting all this casting stuff with the Legend of Zelda movie makes me really wonder if we're gonna get that movie direct reveal for the first trailer. And the one question that every single Zelda fan is wondering and will be answered in that trailer is, will Link talk? Which, by the way, do you even want Link to talk, or do you want him to be more so a silent character type with very few words? So when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, one big question is this game actually going to be delayed, at least with some people and some Nintendo fans? The reason behind this is because, of course, Nintendo hasn't really been shown too much of this game, and they have been pretty silent. I mean, when we got the reveal, we didn't even get any gameplay from the game, and if you guys remember, Metroid Prime 4 didn't have any gameplay, we just got a title card reveal. Granted, we did get way more than that, because that was just like, I wouldn't even call that the bare minimum. We got basically nothing from Metroid Prime 4, and for a very long time, and some people are wondering, well, is the same thing happening with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? Well, Nintendo has calmed those fears. My Nintendo News has an article that says Nintendo reconfirms Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake is still set for late 2026. And this is what they had to say. Nintendo seems dead set on releasing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake later this year, as the Kyoto-based company has confirmed in its new investor report that it's still planned for release in late 2026. This means that it's unlikely to suffer a delay to 2027 and should be ready for the all-important Christmas shopping season. Now all we need is a firm release date and we will be set. Now, of course, there are a couple times during the year, at least in 2026, of course, when we could see that. One is, of course, the September Nintendo Direct. We couldn't end up getting gameplay there. But there's also Gamescom this month, and of course, Tokyo Game Show as well. That happens in September, I believe, the back half of September. I personally don't think we're gonna get that gameplay reveal this month. I hope this ages like sour milk, though, because I would love to see it this month, man. I really want to see this game. Which, by the way, when do you guys actually think we're gonna see The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time release? That is the question of the day for this video, which we'll be talking about some of your comments and show them on screen in the next video. Like for me, I think it's gonna be November 21st because it was released on November 21st, the original game anyways, back on the Nintendo 64 in Japan in 1998. Of course, it could be November 23rd. That was the North America release, but I think they'd go off of the Japan release, in my personal opinion. With that being said, we do have some pretty significant castings for the Legend of Zelda movie. So if you guys didn't hear about all the craziness that was happening with the Legend of Zelda movie, it seems we have some pretty significant news for the movie. We finally know who is going to be playing Ganon, and maybe even Impa too. So Uli Lottekefu is going to be playing Ganon in the Legend of Zelda live action series. According to Go Nintendo, they say this is from the report from Deadline, and he has been cast for a multi-picture deal, so that means multiple Legend of Zelda movies, which is pretty cool. Now, there are rumors that Ditchin Lockman is going to be playing Impa, but the strange thing about this is I don't know why there are rumors. We saw set photos of her on set. We know she's in the movie. We don't know who she's playing, so that part of the rumor is rumor, but we know she's in the movie. Now, another rumor that is new is that Sam Neill is going to be playing some kind of role in the movie. If you guys don't know who that is, it's one of the characters from Jurassic Park, literally my favorite movie of all time, and probably has one of the greatest scenes with the raptor on the plane in a dream sequence. It's just a classic scene. And the actor is Sam Neill. Unfortunately, he has passed away. It's such a big loss, man. I absolutely loved him in Jurassic Park. But this might be his last role before he unfortunately passed away. But keep in mind, that is a rumor. And if these all do happen, at least when it comes to Impa and Sam Neill's character, I do want to say that I love the casting so far. I think one of the mistakes that a lot of these movies make, especially when it comes to video game adaptations, is being ashamed of the source material, or at least not adapting it and making it look like the video game. Obviously not one-to-one, still do their own thing, but in my personal opinion, and it's a pretty strong opinion, I will die on this hill, the point of this live action adaptations of anything is to be under the spell, the illusion that you're watching a live action version of whatever source material that the movie is trying to adapt. And if you don't do that, I personally think that you have failed. Well, maybe that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you guys get what I mean. Like, when it comes to Link, I don't want Link to be some buff, I don't know, 6-foot guy, you know? We don't want beefy Link. if that makes any sense. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments section below about the casting. So let's move on to the next topic. Gamescom is taking place later this month. It's going to be in Germany according to Nintendo Life, and apparently if you're excited for Final Fantasy Revelations, which I am, everyone knows who's been watching this video that I am insanely hyped for this game, we're going to be getting a new look at that game. So if you guys didn't see the article from Nintendo Life, they say Final Fantasy VII Revelations new look announced for opening night live. Gamescom is taking place later this month in Germany, and if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, you'll apparently want to mark your calendar. Square Enix has announced it will be sharing a new look at the third chapter Final Fantasy VII Revelations on August 25th. And they do say that the segment is going to be presented by game director Naoki Hamaguchi. So when it comes to Diablo IV Lords of Hatred coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, there has actually been a lot of things happening in the past. Like in June of 2026, Diablo IV Lords of Hatred has been rated for the Nintendo Switch 2 in Taiwan, according to Nintendo Life, and we did cover that. In the article, they also say in April, a Nintendo rating for Blizzard's action RPG, Diablo IV Lords of Hatred, surfaced on an Indonesian rating board. So those are two signs that it could be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And when you fast forward to today, some pretty interesting things are happening when it comes to a Nintendo insider who has information on this game. As of Wednesday, 8:25 p.m., they say rumor, Diablo IV is reportedly coming to the Switch very soon, according to a new exclusive. And this is what Nintendo Life has to say on all that information. Rumors about Blizzard's action RPG Diablo IV coming to the Switch 2 once again resurfaced. The latest update comes from an exclusive report by Bilbil-kun of Deal Labs. The website claims that the Nintendo version of the game will arrive in the second half of September 2026 for $69.99. That is a pretty hefty price in my personal opinion, especially for a game that is a lot older than, say, a new game. But let's continue. The quote from Bilbil-kun says, almost 3 years after its release on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, Diablo IV seems to be about to conquer a new platform. The Nintendo Switch 2, two separate leaks from two different classification bodies, were now pointing in the same direction. There has been radio silence on the side of Activision Blizzard, publisher of the title, but we wanted to dig into the subject on our own, and we are able to confirm that the game will indeed arrive on the Switch 2 and very soon. Now, there is some additional information about this specific version, and I do not like it. As someone who owns physical of the actual game on the PlayStation 5, I was gonna double dip on the Nintendo Switch 2, but this thing right here just makes me not want to do it at all. I'm curious on what you guys think. This is what Nintendo Life has to say. A physical version is also mentioned, but it's believed to be a code in a box. As for the Lords of Hatred DLC, it's apparently unknown at this stage if it will be included. Lords of Hatred is the DLC, so more than likely it is going to come with the game. With that being said, a code in box, if that is going to happen, I'm not getting it. I want to own the actual game. This is even worse than game key cards. I mean, this is the entire reason behind me not choosing the PlayStation 6, because I actually want to have something physical. Now, is this going to be a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase reveal? Personally, I think it is. Of course, it could always show up at the September Nintendo Direct, which Nintendo usually does. They've done it every single year since the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, aside from the pandemic, and of course the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2. And if you don't believe me, look at this chart right here. You can see that there are indeed partner directs between the mainline Nintendo Directs. The red one is the partner showcase, and the white one is the main Nintendo Direct. Nintendo started this pattern back in 2024, so I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. But let me know your predictions on that in the comment section below. Do you think this pattern is something that we could see Nintendo do and continue with the partner showcase, or do you think we're going to see this at a different time? With that being said, big warning for people, don't go in 100% believing it. It's fun to speculate and talk about it, but of course, this isn't confirmed by Nintendo themselves. With that being said, last time we did do the question of the day, and the question was, what is one opening that you guys have so vividly from any game? Could be PlayStation, could be Nintendo Switch, it could be Nintendo 64, it could be PC. What is one intro that you have so vividly in your mind? And we're going to talk about that. So some of you guys dropped the comments down in the comment section below, and one of them was, of course, Ocarina of Time. Jaybird1113 says, 641 Ocarina of Time intro is just too damn good. And yeah, whenever I talk about like the feeling that you get from certain music, that intro is what I'm talking about. When you boot it up, it just gives you this certain feeling. I don't know if it's nostalgia, I don't know if it's not dread, but it's hard to describe, you know? Zelda Donkey 1 says Marvel vs. Capcom intro comes to mind, with all the characters being frozen and Deadpool riding on an objection sign from Phoenix Wright. And he also mentioned Baten Kaitos, saying Baten Kaitos also has a really good intro, albeit a bit deceptive one, because there's no cutscenes in the actual game or anything that looks like the intro. He also says, finally, I'll say Persona 5 had a cool intro with a really good song that I would let play on every session I had with the game. And yeah, I would say, like, especially Persona. Man, Persona games have really good music. Even some of the more, like, weird or not more, like, jazzy type songs, like the Junes theme for Persona 4, like, I even listen to that occasionally. It's very catchy. Ashiro Kai says the intro from Sonic Unleashed, it's cinema. There's one thing that's very strange about the Sonic series, especially when it comes to like the games I've played. I haven't played too many Sonic games, but one of the Sonic games I've played is Sonic Colors on the DS. Out of all the Sonic games you think you would play, Sonic Colors is the one game that you play. I've also played like Sonic games on the Game Gear, which is kind of strange because like I'm not old enough for when that came out, but I've still played it. Blackstar5867 says, does anime count? Pokemon Season 1 theme? And, you know, especially when it comes to anime music, not just like Nintendo stuff, I used to take so many songs off of like intros from different anime. I used to have hundreds and hundreds of songs, because I've been watching anime since I've been like 14, maybe even younger than that. I mean, if you want to be real, I've been watching like Dragon Ball Z on Toonami and all that stuff. And even when I was a kid, I used to watch anime like Big O, you know, there's also Yu Yu Hakusho and just a whole bunch of other things. And it would always come on, like I would wake up in the middle of the night and just have the songs like the Inuyasha ending theme. Every single time I would wake up as a kid, that song would be playing, and you know, I downloaded that. I gotta download that again, actually. But yeah, the Pokemon 1 theme is just classic. With that being said, let me know like what intros you guys like if you didn't end up putting that comment down in the comment section below last time. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic things, especially if there's a specific song you want me to listen to. And of course, leave your comments on other things like the question of the day that we had in the beginning of this video, or any other topics, or just if you want to comment. It really does help push the video. And of course, leave a like and subscribe for more Nintendo Switch 2 news, leaks, and rumors with this exact format. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.